Hey everybody, here is my fully adjustable Lotus Elise battery bracket. So this setup is using a polypropylene strap with a stainless steel buckle. And these two are chosen so that, if there's any battery acid, these are chemical resistant materials. The two buckles, or rather the two brackets here, are stainless steel, and they're just designed to go in the stock mounting point. This one goes where the normal bracket goes, and then this one bolts into the back on top of the OEM bracket. And I'll show you that in a moment. But these are also stainless steel, so that if there's any battery acid or gases that are corrosive, these materials are all resistant to battery acid. In particular, I noticed on some of the other buckles that I had used in the past that they corroded if the battery was kind of in poor condition or leaking a little bit. So I went with the stainless steel buckle. And of course the polypropylene strap is more chemical resistant than a regular nylon strap. So the cool thing about this bracket is that it fits basically all the batteries that people often use in a Lotus Elise, from the OEM battery all the way down to the really common Power Sports battery. I think off the top of my head, let me see if I can remember. It's the Deka ETX or EXT20L, I think. I have one of those, so I'll show that in a moment. But basically, it can fit the entire range of batteries that people use. So let's go show it on the car. Okay, so here's the car with just the battery in place without the battery bracket. As you can see, I have set up here the Power Sport battery that a lot of people use. This is an AGM sealed battery. Again, the number is ETX20L. I just got a generic one from a local auto parts store. On the internet, a lot of people say they use the Deka battery. This one's been working fine, although I've only had it for a few weeks at this point. So you can see also the OEM battery is fitting in this space. It's quite a bit bigger. I had one of those before. You can see, I think I have another video posted with the OEM battery. Mine was at the end of the life, and when I decided to replace it, I decided to go with this AGM battery, and this is what everyone recommended, so I figured, why not? So a major goal of my new battery bracket design is to fit all of these batteries, to fit the entire range of batteries that people use in these cars, at least the most common ones. So basically what I do is I bolt in right here on top of this OEM bracket. We don't take this out. The reason we don't take this out is because this is designed to space the battery off of these studs, and I don't want these pushing into the battery. So I use the OEM bracket in addition to the bracket that I provide. And then the other one bolts in right here, and I'll just show that in a moment. So the very first thing you need to do is you need to thread this piece, this is the back bracket, onto the buckle. And what you want is you want the top of the buckle and the loop here to kind of be on the top too. So this can be reversed. Make sure you get this orientation the right way. The other thing is that this buckle here, the way that I do the battery, wants to be pretty darn close to the buckle here. I should say this bracket here needs to be close to the buckle, but we'll show that in just a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bolt it in the back just like this, because I'm going to have the buckle come up and over the top, and that's going to go back here. So I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'll start the video again. Okay, so before you tighten the buckle in the back down, you want to make sure that this buckle on the top is in the right spot. So what I like to do is I like to have it really, really close to the edge of the battery right there. But not really hanging over the edge, but just kind of really close to the edge. So to me, this looks really good. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the battery out of the way, and I'm going to show what it looks like in the back. So this buckle comes up and over the top, and you want this piece right here at close to a 45-degree angle. So it's going to be like that, and then we're going to tighten it down like this. So again, this part comes up and over and lays flat, and then this part goes to the side. All right, so here this is tightened down, and you can see that the strap actually can still kind of move in there a little bit. Unfortunately, to get all this to fit in one spot, this has to push on this rivet piece a little bit, but I'm not terribly concerned about that. If you want, you could probably swing this out of the way a little bit, but then it would be not quite at the right angle. Another option that might be possible is to put a washer behind this thing so that it's spacing off a little bit more. But then you might want to move to a lower profile bolt. Just some food for thought. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to move the battery back into position. So that's where the battery is going to live, right here. Here comes the buckle over the top, like so. And then the strap here comes around the side, like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put in the bracket on the front now. All right, so here it is with the front bracket fully installed. As you can see, the strap comes in from the side here. I ran mine underneath the bracket here, and then I'm running over the top. Doesn't really matter, you could go the other way. What you want to do is you want to push the bracket and the battery all the way back as much as possible, and then tighten this down. So we get in here, tighten this guy down. And then, once that's tight, you can run the strap up, make sure you get the orientation correct through the buckle, like so, and then just tighten it down. And that's it. It's pretty tight, and it's very, very secure. This is actually more secure than the last bracket that I designed, so this one is, in my opinion, much better solution than some of the other options on the market, at least in terms of having a fully adjustable battery bracket that can fit basically any battery that you want to run. The strap is long enough to fit a larger OEM battery, although if you want to cut it shorter, you're of course welcome to do that. I would just try to make sure that you use a hot pair of scissors or a hot knife to get the the cauterizing melting on the end so it doesn't fray. One of the things that people told me is that for autocrosses or other races, a lot of times they don't like these straps because they're not secure enough. The battery's too wiggly, and they're like, oh, well, you should be able to shake the whole car with the battery, and I think it passes that test. So this is what I plan on running. One other thing to note is that if you happen to find a smaller battery and you really wanted to run something really, really tiny, you can see that we're getting pretty close to the edge of the battery here. I was a little bit worried that it might have a propensity to flip up if there was some force here, but it's really solid. With that said, if you have a smaller battery, you just put a spacer in here and space the battery off a little bit further back, and then you could run the same setup. So I think this solution works for almost any battery that somebody would want to run. All right, thanks for watching. There will be a link in the description to my web store, and I plan on getting this on Amazon too, so there'll be a link there to Amazon, assuming I can get that up and online. All right, thanks everybody.